Let's boost your English skills.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Boost English podcast. I'm your host, Olivia. I hope everyone's doing great today. In this episode, we'll chat about a specific topic and help you improve your English listening skills. By following our conversation, you can pick up new words, phrases, and ways to express yourself more naturally.
Hey, everybody. David here, excited to join Olivia again. It's always fun to talk and share ideas in a relaxed way. How's your day going, Olivia? Anything new or interesting since last time?
Oh, it's been pretty nice. I tried a new coffee shop down the street earlier. They have this amazing caramel latte. Honestly, it might be my new favorite place. How about you? Did anything fun happen this week?
I finally started that mystery novel you recommended. It's so hard to put down. I read way past my usual bedtime last night. You really know how to pick good books.
That's great. I'm glad you like it. Reading at night can be dangerous, though. I've stayed up late more times than I'd like to admit. Anyway, let's dive into today's topic soon. But first, is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Just that I'm happy to be here. I think our topic today is fascinating, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, especially since you always come up with creative ideas yourself.
Thanks, David. So everyone in this episode will explore the question, where do good ideas come from? We'll discuss how to spark creativity, find inspiration, and develop fresh thoughts. Our conversation will last a while, so listen closely.
Awesome. I think many listeners want to know how they can come up with better ideas, whether for projects, personal goals, or just everyday life. Sometimes it feels like ideas appear randomly, right?
Absolutely. Before we jump into the main topic, let's continue our warm-up. David, do you remember the last time you had a random idea that turned out really well?
I do. The other day, I had the idea to reorganize my room. It seemed simple, but it made a huge difference in how I feel when I wake up. It gave me more mental clarity. It's amazing how a small idea can have a big impact.
That's so true. Sometimes we underestimate those small sparks of inspiration. By the way, thanks for sharing. Let's officially begin the main segment. So, dear listeners, get comfortable because we're about to talk in depth about generating great ideas.
Right, let's do it. Where do you want to start, Olivia? There's so much to say on this topic, from brainstorming methods to collaboration. The possibilities are endless.
Let's begin with a basic question. Do you think good ideas mostly come from sudden light bulb moments? Or do they grow from a process like sitting down and working step by step?
I think there's a bit of both. Sometimes you get a sudden insight, but in my experience, ideas usually form over time. You might gather bits and pieces of information, and then something clicks.
Yes, that's how it is for me too. I rarely have an instant breakthrough. It's more like a gradual buildup. To speed things up, I sometimes use brainstorming. I write down anything that pops into my head, even if it seems silly at first.
That's a good approach. I used to overthink, but now I try free writing. I set a timer for 10 minutes and just write every thought. No editing, no judging. It's funny how many interesting angles show up.
Exactly. By not judging ideas too soon, you allow your mind to explore. It's like giving yourself permission to be creative. And sometimes the oddest idea can lead to a brilliant solution.
True. Another thing that helps me is taking breaks. If I stare at a problem for hours, I get stuck. But if I walk around, shower, or even just listen to music, a new idea might suddenly appear.
Yes, I find nature walks inspiring. Fresh air, different scenery. It's amazing how that can reset my brain. One more trick, talking to others. Have you noticed how sharing thoughts often sparks new ideas?
Definitely. When you talk to someone, they offer a viewpoint you never considered, or they might ask questions that make you see the problem in a totally new way.
Exactly. That's why collaboration is so powerful. Think about famous creative teams, like tech innovators or artists. They bounce ideas off each other. You can see the energy that group work creates.
Absolutely. Another point, reading widely. You mentioned a mystery novel earlier. Reading different genres can fire up our imagination. Even an unrelated topic can spark a fresh idea for a current project.
That's right. We often limit ourselves to familiar areas, but exploring new topics unlocks new perspectives. Let's share an example. Once, I read a book about architecture, and it led me to think differently about organizing my schedule.
That's cool. I remember watching a documentary about ancient farming techniques. It gave me an idea about being more patient with my tasks. It seemed unrelated, but it actually influenced how I approach projects.
I love that. It shows how ideas can come from anywhere. That's why it's good to stay open-minded. You never know what will ignite a new concept or strategy.
Exactly. Another aspect is environment. Have you ever changed your workspace, maybe added plants, changed lighting, and noticed an improvement in idea flow?
Yes, and it works surprisingly well. A change of scenery can wake up your brain. Even small details, like a new desk lamp or a comfortable chair, help you focus differently.
Right. I once rearranged my entire office. I moved the desk near the window to get more sunlight. That alone made me more alert, which led to better brainstorming sessions.
That's wonderful. And speaking of brainstorming, do you have any favorite methods besides free writing, like mind mapping or using sticky notes?
Mind mapping is cool. I love drawing circles for main ideas, then linking them to sub-ideas. It's very visual. With sticky notes, you can physically move ideas around until you see the perfect order.
Yes, I do that sometimes. I'll fill a wall with sticky notes. Then I shuffle them around to see patterns. It's hands-on and fun, and it encourages me to think in new ways.
It also reminds me of puzzle solving. You have all these pieces and you're trying to fit them together. Each piece could be a solution, or it could link to another piece. It's like a game.
Exactly, it becomes more playful. And when you're in a playful mood, you're more likely to take risks and come up with unusual ideas. Sometimes, being serious all the time can block creativity.
Right? Having a sense of fun can unlock new possibilities. By the way, what about deadlines? Do you think time pressure helps or hurts creativity?
That's tricky. Deadlines can force you to focus, which might speed up idea generation. But too much pressure can cause stress and block your mind. I think a moderate amount of pressure can be good.
I agree. If there's no deadline at all, I might procrastinate forever. But if the deadline is too tight, I might panic and freeze. So it's all about balance.
Exactly. Also, some people say good ideas come when you're in a relaxed state, like just before sleeping. Have you ever had a great idea in a dream?
I have, but then I usually forget it in the morning. I've started keeping a notebook near my bed. That way, if something comes to me, I can write it down right away.
That's a smart habit. I do the same with my phone's note app. Sometimes an idea pops into my head while I'm half asleep, and if I don't record it immediately, it's gone forever.
Same here. It's surprising how often those late night thoughts turn into something useful the next day. It's like my brain is more open when I'm relaxed and not overthinking.
Totally. Another angle is that good ideas often come from real-world experiences. For instance, traveling can expose you to different cultures, foods, and languages. It broadens your mind.
Yes, traveling is a big one. Even a short trip to a neighboring city can spark new ideas. You see how people live, how they solve problems, and you might adapt that to your own life or work.
Right? I remember trying street food in another country, and it gave me an idea for a new recipe at home. That small thing led to a bigger idea about experimenting with flavors in other aspects of my cooking.
That's great. And it shows that creativity doesn't have to be limited to art or big inventions. It can be about little improvements in everyday life, like new recipes or ways to organize a closet.
Definitely. Now, I'm curious about your thoughts on the role of technology. Some people find inspiration by browsing the internet or using apps designed for idea generation. Is that helpful?
I think it can be as long as you're not overwhelmed. Sometimes too many online resources create confusion, but if you use them wisely, you can discover new trends, research interesting topics, and learn from experts.
Exactly. Balance is key. Technology can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it offers unlimited information. On the other, it can distract you. So you need to set limits and stay focused on your goal.
Right. I'll set a timer for online research. After that, I step away and brainstorm offline. Otherwise, I might keep surfing endlessly. It's so easy to lose track of time on the internet.
I can relate. So, to sum up so far, good ideas can come from free writing, brainstorming, collaboration, changing environments, reading widely, experiencing new things, and managing technology. Did I miss anything?
That's a solid list. One more I'd add is reflection. After getting ideas, I like to reflect on them, maybe through journaling or quiet thinking. That helps me figure out which ideas are truly strong.
Great point. Reflection is crucial because not every idea is worth pursuing. Some are stepping stones to better ideas we need time to evaluate and refine.
Exactly. And sometimes it's okay to let go of certain ideas. They might not fit our goals at the moment. That's not failure, it's just part of the creative process.
Right. Now, before we wrap up, let's spend some time clarifying a few tricky words and phrases we use today. We want to make sure our listeners understand them well.
Sure thing. I noticed we use the word brainstorming multiple times. Brainstorming means creating many ideas in a short time without criticizing any of them. It's about free flow thinking.
Yes, and we also mentioned free writing. That's when you write continuously for a set period, ignoring grammar or structure. It's meant to help you unlock ideas without worrying about perfection.
Exactly. We talked about mind mapping too. That's a visual way to organize information. You place a main idea in the center, then connect related ideas around it like branches on a tree.
Right? Another phrase was double-edged sword. That means something that can have both positive and negative effects. For example, the internet can be helpful, but also distracting.
We also said light bulb moment. That refers to a sudden moment of understanding or inspiration, like a quick burst of a new idea, just like a light turning on in your mind.
Yes, that's an easy one to picture. Did we use any idioms that might be confusing?
We used bounce ideas off each other. That means you share ideas with someone else to get feedback or to spark more ideas. It's like playing catch with thoughts.
Exactly, it's a metaphor for exchanging ideas back and forth. How about stepping stones? That means intermediate stages that help you reach a bigger goal.
Yes, that's right. Sometimes one idea is just a stepping stone to a better idea. Any other terms?
We mentioned overthink, which means thinking too much about something, leading to indecision or stress. It often blocks creativity because you get stuck in your head.
Good explanation. Let's also define collaboration. It means working together with one or more people to achieve a common goal. Collaborating often leads to stronger ideas.
Yes, and tightly packed schedule could come up, which means a schedule with little free time. When you have a tightly packed schedule, you might struggle to find moments for creative thinking.
Great. I think we covered most of the words that could be confusing. If anyone has more questions, they can always leave a comment. By the way, do you have any final tips before we end?
I'd say embrace curiosity. Don't be afraid to learn something new or try a different approach. Stay open-minded and remember that ideas can come from anywhere, even unexpected places.
That's solid advice. Also, don't be too hard on yourself if you feel stuck. Creativity isn't a switch you can flip. It's a process that takes time, patience, and sometimes a bit of fun.
Absolutely. Well, that's all for today's conversation. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope this talk helps you find new ways to generate great ideas.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel and share the podcast with friends who want to boost their English.
We appreciate your support. Stay curious, keep brainstorming, and remember that good ideas are everywhere. You just need to look for them. Until next time, this has been Olivia
and David signing off. Take care, everybody, and see you soon on the next episode of the Boost English Podcast.